Good afternoon, everyone. Mayong adlaw sa inyong tanan. Welcome to our asynchronous class. Our lesson for this day is the political and legal perspective in gender and sexuality. Our objectives is to understand gender-based violence, its definition and its terms, and to understand gender-based violence as a human rights issue, and also to determine the relationship between human rights and gender-based violence, and to differentiate perpetrators, survivors, and victims in gender-based violence. For the definition of terms, gender-based violence is any harmful act that is perpetrated against a person's will and that is based on socially ascribed gender differences between males and females. This is based on the Interagency Standing Committee guidelines in humanitarian action of 2015. So whether maybe it be physical violence, economic violence, psychological, emotional violence, which is associated with the differences between males and females, that is called gender-based violence. Now, gender-based violence can result in physical, sexual, and psychological harm to both men and women and includes any form of violence or abuse that targets men or women on the basis of their sex. In the Philippines, gender-based violence has clearly been placed in the realm of women's human rights over the past decade. So it's very clearly known nga sa Pilipinas, when we talk about gender-based violence, ma-associate to siya sa women's human rights. But it doesn't automatically mean nga for women na po ang gender-based violence. Men can also experience gender-based violence. Gender-based violence experienced by women and girls refers to battering and other forms of intimate partner violence. Pwede dira ang marital rape. This can happen when you are when you are married with your partner, but you don't consent him in any sexual activity. So matawag siya nga marital rape kay wala man kay consent. So if you engage in sexual activity tapos walay consent nimo, you didn't say yes, so matawag siya nga rape. It can also be associated with sexual violence, no? And dowry-related violence, female infanticide, sexual abuse of female children in the household. So sometimes bantayan nato ang atong mga kababaihan nga mga bata sulod sa balay kay basin ma-abuse pud sila kinsa man ang mag-abuse. So pwede there ang mga relatives or mismo ang father because natanaw na nato sa news. Honor crimes, early marriage. So early marriage, this can happen no kung minor ang imong imong pakasla no, and also that when early marriage that also related with forced marriage no kay kinsa may bata nga sayo magminyo. So ibig sabihin gi-force pod siya into that marriage. Next is the female genital cutting and other traditional practices harmful to women. So same that I've discussed with you katong desert flower nga gitahi ang iyahang female genitalia because gi-prohibit siya nga sexual intercourse or ma-rape sa ilahang. Then based po na sa ilang culture, but it is not um good. It is a harmful practice or dangerous practice. Next is sexual harassment in the workplace and educational institutions. So if ever you have encountered harassment, you have sexually harassed in the workplace and educational institutions, that can also be associated with gender-based violence. And as we further discuss this, ato pong madiscuss ang mga implications based on law and existing policies when it comes to sexual harassment. Next is commercial sexual exploitation. So pwede ma-exploit ang mga babae, no? Same mga traffickers, no? Trafficking of girls and women. So, ma-traffic sila, pwede sila mahimog slave or pwede po sila himo nga katabang or prostitute dito ang country man naghigpit ang atong immigration. Next is violence perpetrated against domestic workers. So, kasagaran maging mga domestic workers kay mga women or mga babae. So, ang violence dira is ma-perpetrate sa um mga ilang amo ng lalaki or babae, and that can also constitute as gender-based violence. So, unsa man ang consequences of gender-based violence? We have three: health consequences, social consequences, and economic consequences. Let's discuss that further. So, under health consequences, pwede nga kung ma-rape ka, na ay unwanted pregnancies nga mahitabo. So, maburos ka because na ay sexual intercourse. Next is complications from unsafe abortions. Kaya naburos naman ka or unwanted pregnancies ang nahitabo sa imo ha. So, dili ninyo gusto isip magtiayon or maguyab nga maburos. So, mag-result na siya into abortion, and then when it's unsafe, pwede mag-complicate and then mamatay ang babae. At the same time, pwede po mo makakuha when nag-engage mo og sexual activity nga pwede po ma-transmit sa inyo ha ang mga infections including HIV, gonorrhea, Hep B, no? Nagikan sa pakighilawas. Next is injuries. So, kay nakabati man ka or nakasinati man ka og rape, so, and sexual harassment, physical injuries might be the product of it. Ang kagawsad ana, physical injuries. Kay na may restraint, so di man ka musukol man ka, so unsahay mapasakitan ka, mag-lead into physical injuries. Next is mental health and psychosocial effects. Now, kung dili ka healthy or naka-experience ka og gender-based violence, pwede ka maka-experience pod og depression, kauban ana, anxiety, post-traumatic stress, and suicide and death. And violence also affects children's survival, development, and school participation. No, kung ang bata naka-encounter og gender-based violence, pwede maapektuhan ang development. Dili na siya makasalamuha, and in school, dili na siya mag-participate kaayo kay maghilom-hilom naman lang siya sa kilid kay nay. Naman ay siya experience when it comes to, for example, sexually, no? So, mag-ignay jud ta permente. Next is social consequences, no? Kung sayran nga survivor ka of gender-based violence, pwede na siya ma-extend into your families and communities ang ulaw, di ba? Next is families can also be stigmatized. O no? Ang imong family mas stigmatized or ikaw mismo mas stigmatized socially. Next is economic consequences. So the cost of public health and social welfare system. So mahal jud mo hospital. And then kung mangayo-ngayo na pud ka og ayuda sa DSWD, pwede po na siya mag-take of time. So, kung ikaw, nanarbaho ka, so, either mag-resign ka, kay na-hospital ka, or mag-leave ka because you need social welfare assistance. And that reduces the ability of many survivors to participate in social and economic life. Kay, ang imong time ug oras, nakuha naman sa pagpaayo nimo. So, maapektuhan nila ang imong economic life. So, wala kay gikaon kay wala naman kay trabaho. Now, let's talk about survivor, victim, and perpetrator. When we say survivor, mao na siya ang nakasurvive gikan sa gender-based violence. So we will not call them victim, but survivor is the preferred term to use. Ang perpetrator mo na siya ang person, group, or institution that inflicts, supports, or condones violence or other abuse against a person or a group of persons. No, mo na siya ang himo sa act. No, pwede na siya daghan, pwede na siya institutions, pwede isa ka tao, or pwede group of persons. Now, these are the characteristics of the perpetrators. Pwede siya ang persons with real power where real or perceived power, persons in decision-making positions, and persons in authority. Now, if you ever experience gender-based violence, you can also tell this or go to the Commission on Human Rights to assert your rights, no? Kitang tanan ng tao. So, human rights are universal. So, when we say universal, bisag unsa pa imong gender, IP ba ka, excuse me, IP ba ka, dato, pobre, we all have human rights and it is inalienable. Dili na siya mawala sa atua. It is innate with us. Gikan sa pag-anak nato sa bata pa tando sa muda ko, we have human rights and it is indivisible, interconnected, and interdependent. Everyone is entitled to all the rights and freedoms without distinction of any kind, such as race, color, sex, language, religion, political, or other opinion, national or social origin, property, birth, or other status. No? Sa unsa pa man imong kuan dira shape and sizes, rich or poor, we all have and we must practice our human rights. Assert our human rights. So, belongs sa tong human rights and the right to life, liberty, property of persons. The right to the highest attainable standard of physical and mental health, the right to freedom or from torture or cruel, inhuman or degrading treatment or punishment, and the right to freedom and of opinion and expression to education. So, mo di ba mao ni ang mga balita sa pulis nga niagi og torture, gi-torture para motugan, and we can assert our rights. No, kay bawal ang i-torture or inhumane cruelty. Dili ka pwede i-punish. You can assert your rights. Next is, now we are done with lesson 15. Let's move on to gender-based violence, the power, use of force, and consent. We have here our objectives, which is to identify the relationship between abuse of power and gender-based violence. Understand the term violence in the context of gender-based violence means using some type of force which may or may not include physical force, and understand the meaning of informed consent and its relationship to gender-based violence. Now, power, no, in simple term, power comes from a person who has, or a power is something that can change or alter the course of someone's life, no? And that is someone who has in authority or someone who has perceived power. So perpetrators can have real or perceived power. So power is directly related to choice. The more power one has, there are more choices available. So kung nakay eminent power, for example, you are in a government, you are in authority, daghan kay choices to make. Now, the less power one has, fewer choices are available. Unempowered people have fewer choices and are therefore more vulnerable to abuse. So kung wala kay gihunitan nga power, for example, you feel powerless inside your household. For example, ikaw babae,